So I will invite Dr. Muhammad Safdar Bhatti. Dr. Muhammad Safdar, I hope it's here already and it's ready for his presentation.
Yes, ma'am, I'm ready.
Thank you, Doctor.
How are you,
I
ma'am?
call you. Thank you.
Yes, I'm ready.
So I call you Dr. Safdar or Dr. Bhatti?
As you wish, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. So, Dr. Muhammad Safdar is an academic staff from the Department of Translation Studies, the Islamia University of Bahawalpur, Pakistan. I will read his bio note. He is an ELT expert with 29 years IELTS and TEFL teaching and training experience. He is a linguist by profession. He is a teacher trainer, researcher, and international keynote and plenary speaker by experience. He has published 80 research papers in numerous international peer-reviewed research journals, authored for books, and has supervised extensively. So Dr. Bhatti has conducted and attended course of ELT workshops and seminars within the country. He has been awarded honorary doctorate in ELT and applied linguistics by an American university due to his remarkable service in the field of ELT. He is a recipient of multiple national and international awards and gold medals in recognition of his outstanding academic achievements. Currently, he is teaching in the Islamic University of Bahawalpur, Pakistan. So in today's session, he will present his study entitled Investigating Challenges and Solutions for Learning Speaking Skills at BS Level. So we will listen to the explanation of Dr. Bhatti. So if you have any question, you can directly ask him after his presentation, or you can write questions in the chat box. So Dr. Bhatti, you can present your study.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much for introducing me so nicely. Can you hear me and see my screen?
Yes, it's very clear, Doctor.
Okay, so nice of you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon everywhere. Basically, this is Dr. Muhammad Safdar Bhatti from Pakistan. The topic of my today's talk is investigating challenges and solutions for learning speaking skills at BS level. And that is a brief sketch of my talk. Respected audience, language helps us to express our feelings and thoughts. This is a unique to our species because it is a way to express unique ideas and customs within different cultures and societies. By learning a foreign language, we can understand ideas and thoughts that may be different from our own culture. Language not only reflects and expresses and observation, it also influences attitudes and behavior and is a vital component of the cultural prerequisites underlying societal development. Learning English is an indispensable tool for interacting with foreigners and accomplishing academic pursuits. Many will study English by hoping to widen their chances of getting better job opportunities as well as a stepping stone to higher education. Dear audience, speaking is considered as a vital skill that we need throughout our life. It is used to engage with one another and express feelings and thoughts. It is the process of building and sharing meanings through the use of verbal and non-verbal symbols in a variety of contexts. Egan states, speaking is the heart of the second language learning. Despite its importance, speaking has until recently largely been ignored in schools and universities. Therefore, we will find that many successful students with excellent grades fail to communicate in English language because schools neglect teaching the speaking skills. Students easily build barriers between themselves and their learning process, especially in speaking classes, as a defensive reaction to many factors such as the tutor qualification in teaching the second language, the student's environment, mental health, and curriculums that don't match the student's competency level and so forth. Speaking skills are defined as the skills which allow us to communicate effectively. They give us the ability to convey information verbally and in a way that the listener can understand. It is the most important skill because it is one of the abilities that are needed to perform a conversation. English speaking is not an easy task because speakers should know many significant components like pronunciation, grammar, vocabulary, fluency, and comprehension. There are problems that English learners frequently face when learning the language, such as the lack of practice inside or outside the classroom, the lack of confidence when speaking, being afraid of making mistakes, and being misunderstood. Thus, teaching will be ineffective if teachers neglect their students' progress. Despite all of this, speaking is considered quite challenging. As Jerry once said, speaking in front of a crowd is considered the number one fear of the average person. Number two was death. These are some language factors which Brown lists speaking as the most challenging of the four skills to teach because it uses the following traits: stress, rhythm, and intonation, use of idioms, phrasal verbs, and slang, contradictions, vowel reductions, and elision, the need to interact with at least one other speaker. Yan mentioned that since the target of learning English is to communicate with others, it is important to increase the students' self-confidence while speaking the language, to encourage them to be willing to explain their thoughts in English. He concludes that fluency and accuracy should be integrated into classroom activities. Vygotsky theories agree with the Yan. It stated that learners are more engaged when they are asked to participate. When students work together on activities, they find various ways to build new paths or learnings. If we talk about the significance of the study, recent studies have investigated the challenges in acquiring English speaking skills from the instructor's point of view and that of the students at university. The present study will examine if the challenges remain even at the university level. The students will present obstacles that higher education students are trying to overcome, as well as assisting instructors to succeed in implementing the course and students in mastering the English language. Therefore, the findings of this study will determine if university students still face the challenges that they used to have during the previous years of study. The objectives of my study were to exploring the challenges that BS level students, female students, face in relation to acquiring the English speaking skills, differentiating between the challenges that are faced by the student in a university and the university level, a BS level, to check out students' interest in terms of speaking and writing, to find out students' interest towards learning English. My research questions were: what are the main challenges faced by BS level students in learning English speaking skills? What strategies for developing effective speaking skills do BS level students prefer? What are the solutions developing effective speaking skills do BS level students prefer? What are the main obstacles faced by the BS level students in learning English speaking skills? How to improve the current situation of our learning speaking skills? My literature review is: the goals of the university level teaching are to help students to improve their listening and speaking skills, provide them with a systematic review of English syntax, improve their academic reading and critical thinking skills, apply reading and critical thinking skills to academic writing at the paragraph and essay level, provide them with a developmental step-by-step approach to paragraph writing in preparation for multi-paragraph essay writing at BSc level, develop an understanding of referencing techniques used in writing essays and scientific research papers, master the language of medicine, including word construction, definitions, and use of terms related to medical science, hospital service, and the allied health specialties. If we talk about the research methodology, that was survey-based research based on quantitative approach, and the random sampling was done. 200 students from the Islamic University of Bahawalpur, Pakistan, from the Department of Software Engineering participated in this study. A questionnaire was used for the students to collect the data from the respondents. And these are some factors which I deduced from the collected data. Motivation, 80% students agreed. Speaking improved, 70% agreed. Confidence improved, 90% agreed. Learning aptitude, 70% agreed. And quality of learning, 50% agreed. And that is a graphic description of my talk. Dear all, majority of the students wanted to learn English and are eager to speak English in their everyday works and activities. They enjoyed English as their subject and learn it for their research as well as for their personality grooming. Success in learning English language is the attitude of the student If students display positive attitude, then it means they are near to their success. If they show negative attitude, they can go downward. Students like to speak English in their class as well as outside the class. They like to speak it with friends and family or want to have English spoken friends. Their attitude is positive because it is the demand of the time and learners are consciously paying attention to their spoken English. Before leaving, I would like to give some suggestions and recommendations. Kai suggests 10 essential principles when delivering speaking class. Increasing the amount of time students speak English in class, creating unique learning materials and an atmosphere where students learn and work together. Every student gets to speak in every class and participate in various ways, giving students positive feedback and encouragement every time they speak, asking open-ended questions or checking students' understanding in order to increase students' speaking time, fixing any spoken mistake without confusing or distracting the student from what they are trying to say. Teachers should be actively walking around the room to assist students and ensure they are learning the correct responses as students work with their peers, utilizing activities that get students to speak in and outside of the classroom setting, planning solutions for language problems that some students may face during the lesson so students are not stalled when using the target language. Also providing the vocabulary that students need in speaking activities beforehand, teaching the necessary vocabulary or grammar structures a few lessons before in order for students to be familiar with the content they will be used when speaking. These were some references from which I got the help. Thanks for joining me. And any question, please. And that's all from my side. They're all.
Thank you for your presentation, Dr. Bhatti.
So nice
I invite a question from the audience and students. Raise your hands or write your question in chat now. So speaking skill is very interesting because this is the skill that people can see for the learner at the beginning when you meet people from other languages. So
Yes.
then it's very interesting presentation. So I would like first before the is there any question? Because I also would like to ask Dr. Bhatti question on this topic. Gurina, do you have any question, Gurina?
So nice of you, ma'am, for your very appreciation. I would like to thank over here Dr. Handoko and all the team members for giving me this chance to give a talk at this forum as a keynote speaker. It's my pleasure, much honored.
Ulan, can I ask questions?
Yes, sir.
there is
Yes,
a
please.
question. Please.
Yeah, I just want to know, Dr. Saptar, thank you for your presentation. That's very interesting. I'd like to ask first, because how many hours in a week do you teach your students this English speaking skill? And judging from your presentations, because some of the students turns out to have negative attitudes toward English, what could be, these negative attitudes?
So nice of you. So nice of you, sir, for your very nice question. First and the foremost point from my side is that the teacher himself must be competent in his over the communication skills first. If the teacher can communicate well, he can articulate well, automatically the students will be motivated. And in the classroom, he should try to give them the linguistic atmosphere. If the teacher is going to use English language in the class, then automatically the students will build up their confidence. And if I talk about myself, I am working over here in Pakistan as an IELTS trainer. So far, on daily class, there is a 3 hours class with me, and at least 2 hours I communicate English with them. And my students are getting 7+ bands, even out of 9 in their IELTS test. So when they come to me, they are just blank papers. But with the passage of time, within 6 to 8 weeks, I prepare them well. I boost their confidence. I make them communicative. They communicate well. They understand well. They speak well. They write well. And all their 4 modules and the skills are improved. So I would like to say one thing. Everything depends on the teacher, how well he teaches them. If the teacher is competent, he can teach the students well. I would like to quote over here one point. An ignorant teacher spreads ignorance everywhere. So teacher must keep himself abreast of what is happening around him and what is happening in his field. First, he should update his knowledge. First, he should update his skills. Then automatically the students will learn, sir. I think that's all from my side for your question.
Thank you for your explanation, Doctor. I see that there is Dr. Huda is raising her hand. Do you want to ask a question, Doctor? Please. Doctor? Oh, no? All right. So I invite other questions from the audience.
May I ask question, Bu?
Yes, ma'am.
Please.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Very interesting presentation, Dr. Safdar.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, we are all teachers of English. Yeah, most of us, right? So there are many, there are different methods that we used. May I know what is the dominant method that is used by the teacher in your country? Because you suggest in your suggestion that teachers should walk around helping students to or encouraging students to speak. So may I know the most used method in teaching English? Thank you.
So nice of you, ma'am, for your very nice question. Actually, the student-centered approach is the best one. And the direct method teaching method he should use. Again and again, I'm saying if the teacher himself is going to use the first language in the class, then how he can expect that students are able to communicate in English? The teacher must use English and the students must be exposed towards the English. Automatically, their listening will be improved and they will automatically be going to communicate. The more you listen, the more you speak. If the students are going to listen from their teacher, then automatically they would like to copy him. So the teacher-centered approach should be banned and the student-centered method must be over there and the direct method must be over here. If there are some issues in the class, the students cannot understand, then teacher should use the grammar translation method. Otherwise, most of the time, he should use the communicative method in the class for their better improvement.
Thank you.
Yes,
So thank you, Dr. Bhatti. So thank you very much for your presentation.
so nice of you.
I can conclude that in your presentation, you have described the limitation of the teaching speaking skill in the classroom. So actually, we have the similar experience, right? So students have a lack of practice, lack of confidence, afraid of making mistakes. But then we as teachers have to have a specific teaching method to assist and guide our students to be able to speak confidently. So you talk about the need for training for students. So I agree that it needs many hours of training. Students must have exposure to English, and we as teacher is the one that provide the environment for them to be able to speak English in an English environment.
Yes.
And so teacher should be the guidance, should give a guide for the students and provide the and comfortable environment for the students to be able to practice English for communication. So thank you very much for your presentation.
So nice.
I hope we can meet again, Doctor.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
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 Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
So this is the